In Latin America and the Caribbean, one woman is killed every 2 hours due to her gender. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated gender-based violence across the region. In Brazil, femicides increased 22% in between March and April in 12 Brazilian states compared to the same period last year. In El Salvador, a total of 71 femicides were reported between January and August. One woman is murdered by a man every 24 hours, making El Salvador the country with one of the highest rates of femicide in the world. In Mexico, 10 women are killed each day as a result of their gender, or 1 every 2.5 hours in the first semester of 2020, a 5% increase compared to the same period last year. While Mexico, El Salvador, and Brazil account for the majority of cases of gender-based violence in Latin America, women across the region are impacted by this crisis. Why is it that gender-based violence has increased during the COVID-19 pandemic? 7 out of 10 femicides in Latin America occur in a victim's home. Stay-at-home orders have further complicated this, leaving women with fewer options for escaping violence, with many living under the same roof as their abuser. Domestic violence hotlines have seen notable increases. In Colombia, there was a 225% increase in calls during just the first week of lockdown. During the first 3 months of quarantine in Peru, 915 women were reported missing by government authorities. This is significant considering 10% of the country's femicides in 2019 were first reported as disappearances. While 2020 was declared the year against femicide and infanticide in Bolivia, the government, who has already employed strict lockdown measures, has reported 83 femicides as of August. Moreover, many women's shelters across the region have shut down due to their inability to meet social distancing requirements. El Salvador repurposed Ciudad Mujer, the country's safe homes for women, as containment centers during the pandemic, and closed additional facilities due to lack of personnel and funding. In Mexico, funding for women's shelters was cut, despite a 20% increase in reports of violence. In Brazil, however, Casa de Mujeres Brasileiras remains open, providing a safe and sanitary haven for women during the pandemic. Services include support from social workers, psychologists, representatives from the Department of Justice and Family Court, hotlines, and nurseries. While justice for gender-based violence during the pandemic has varied throughout the region, governments are beginning to think creatively about how to support women at home. Public service campaigns that encourage the reporting of domestic violence, such as Argentina's #BarbijoRojo social media campaign, are helping alert leaders and law enforcement authorities about the scale of the problem. The Women's Division of Guatemala's Public Prosecutor's Office recently pledged to implement more programs and campaigns to help women on their path to justice, even given the global pandemic. President Luis Abinader of the Dominican Republic announced the creation of 12 new women's shelters and an $173 increase in subsidies that victims of domestic violence may receive to acquire housing away from their abusers. NGOs and international organizations are also working hard to address these challenges. The International Rescue Committee launched a humanitarian information platform, Cuéntanos, where users in Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador can seek information for essential services, such as gender-based violence protection. In Venezuela, NGOs such as CEPAS, Funda Mujer, and Doctors Without Borders have created hotlines for victims to report abuse. And in Ecuador, a group of advocates created the No Más campaign, an initiative that is designed to spread awareness of gender-based violence, facilitate communication between institutions and victims, and identify the action steps that can be taken if someone is experiencing violence. Gender-based violence continues to claim the lives of women at alarming rates across Latin America, and governments will have to continue tracking and evaluating comprehensive policy solutions for this critical problem, particularly as they continue to brace the impacts of COVID-19. To learn more, check out the Wilson Center's ongoing coverage of gender-based violence in Latin America at gbv.wilsoncenter.org.